our twins are now a year and a half old and they've been on 12 flights and multiple road trips.
Yep. Every trip we have taken, I think we've gotten more efficient, learned from our previous mistakes, and have just had things go smoother.
So we thought that now was the perfect time to do a comprehensive travel video on how we travel with twins and how we make it work. So we're currently getting ready to take the twins on another flight.
Actually 4.
It's gonna be 4.
It'll be 4 flights.
We're low-key scared. I feel like people are really scared to fly with tiny babies. I know we were terrified.
We were really scared. Our first flight was at 7 months old. I think personally that was our easiest flight. Hardest because we brought the most stuff. We just didn't know that we didn't need all that. In terms of how they behaved, it was by far the easiest because they're 7 months old. They can't crawl, they can't walk, they don't need to be moving. They're happy to sit on your lap and they sleep.
They sleep so much. Newborns and like young babies sleep so much. It can be pretty easy to fly with them. The twins are now 19 months old and they like to be on the go. They like to run around. They're busy little people. That goes into the first travel related question that you guys had for us. And it is, do you worry about your kids bothering other people on the airplane?
Yes, I feel like it's only natural to worry about that. I think every person traveling with a child worries about that. I think what you need to keep in mind is that they have every right to be on the flight as well. And
they being the children.
Yeah, the children. Even though it feels like forever. So if a baby's crying, it feels like forever to the parents. But it's only a few minutes, or it's not the whole flight.
I mean, it could be the whole flight.
It could be the whole flight. But in the grand scheme of things, worst case, it's only that long. You're never going to see these people on the flight again, even if they're snarky. The flight attendants are probably going to help you. In our experience so far, every flight attendant has been very helpful. They've always offered to do anything we need. They go above and beyond. One time, somebody even held one of our babies so I could pee because we are 2 people with 2 infants. And that was really helpful, but we've had a great experience with the staff of the flights.
Every single time.
Every time.
They're great at bringing water for formula.
Just checking in even and asking, do we need anything?
It's really nice.
Yeah.
So since we've been on so many flights with our little twins, I feel like we have really come up with some good systems and things that really work for us. And I'm excited to share those with you guys now. When we first started traveling with the kids, we brought so much stuff.
Our first trip was 2 big suitcases, 2 car seats, a stroller, and 2 rolly carry-ons, plus diaper bags.
It was crazy.
And it was just 2 of us.
I know, lugging it through the airport was...
It was actually a nightmare.
So now we pack a lot lighter.
So much lighter.
We actually don't drag too much stuff normally with us through the airport. We check as much as we can. Even if you're flying with a lap infant and you don't get your baby a seat, you're still, for most airlines, everyone we've flown.
Yeah, but every airline is different, so be sure to call them.
But you're allowed to bring 2 of 3 items for free, checked per child. A car seat, a stroller, or a playpen. And those are for free, which is very nice.
The first 2 trips we took, we brought our strollers, like our big normal double strollers. We had to check them with our suitcases, so they were too heavy to gate check. So you know when you go on the plane, you can just bring your little stroller if you have a single or a light one.
Maybe you don't know that.
Maybe you don't know that. You can. Anyway, we've never ever brought a double stroller through the airport because we've checked it or we've rented them when we got to our destination. However, this trip that we're doing is just going to be different and we're going to have to do customs very quickly, and we're also bringing big heavy car seats. So we bought a travel-y type. So it's way lighter. Like I can lift this with ease and it folds up. This is not an ad for this stroller, by the way. I was influenced by our friends who have 2 kids. They're different aged kids, but the same thing. They bought this stroller off Amazon and we copied them.
Okay, how does it open?
I don't know. I've never tried it. This is the first time.
Right there.
Okay, ready? This is my first time doing it. Oh! That's actually quite easy.
And that's it.
It's very, very, very light compared to our big ones. So this is going to be amazing, even if we don't use it to put the children in the airport. If we wear them and then put the heavy stuff in here to run through the airport, like this is going to be a game changer, I think. And it's going to last for a long time because it goes up really high. So even when they're tall, I think this will be good. But most importantly, it folds small, it's light, compact. Oh, it's perfect. Not none.
One question that came up a ton was, how do we maneuver the airport with 2 babies, just the 2 of us, and our staff?
Our last trip was so efficient. We have ditched the rolly carry-ons. In my mind, I'm like, the chances of our suitcase getting lost is pretty slim. So,
Knock on wood.
I know. The last trip, we literally just had 2 backpacks.
Yep.
A backpack each and a baby.
Like we said, we've never actually brought a stroller to the airport to use through the airport before. We've always worn the babies, and that's been very, very helpful because they're contained. Our hands are free, so we can deal with the documents. We can keep the babies happy. Sometimes they even nap in them when they were little.
Yeah,
I
used to nap
fall
in them.
asleep in it. It was perfect. So 10 out of 10, I would say bring a carrier to the airport.
And if you can, one where the baby can face inwards, and if they're old enough, outwards. That was something that we didn't really think of before our babies were old enough to face out, and now we need to get a carrier where they face out.
Because they're so curious and they just want to see the whole world. So our twins don't love facing us and having a cuddle all the time.
No, they're toddlers.
They want to face out and see what's going on.
Honestly, the biggest tip is packing as little as you can to actually carry, like check as much as you can. And I know that a lot of people like to have a lot of things with babies. For us, we like to have as little as possible and just know in the back of our minds if we need something, there are stores. Places we're going have stores.
Actually, that's the perfect transition to next. Why don't I go show you, because I'm the one who likes to pack the perfect
You're
diaper
gonna
bag
show
for
them
an
our
airplane.
crazy packing basement?
I'm going to show them the crazy packing basement. Welcome to the crazy packing zone. Like I said, we are leaving for a trip soon. I didn't say where. We are going on our longest trip ever with the twins. We are flying to California. We're flying to LAX from Canada. We live on the very, very, very east coast of Canada. So it's going to be a long travel day. We have a stop and then some more flying. My goal is always to pack the perfect diaper bag for the plane. So this is a Lambert diaper bag. I have 2 of them here, one for me and one for Allie. I love these bags. They have so much space in them. You can hook them onto your stroller if you want. They're just amazing. And I wanted to show you what I pack in the diaper bag for us to have on the plane. If your kids still drink bottles, we make sure that we bring bottles and formula. The twins actually don't drink formula anymore, but I'm gonna bring some just in case they don't have milk on the airplane. Like I said, I like to be prepared. So we also bring Tylenol. I pack a separate bag inside of the diaper bag, and it has all of our diaper changing stuff. So we're talking wipes, we're talking diapers, enough to get us through the flights, and a change of clothes. And the change of clothes I like to bring is a different weight, like a different warmth level than what they're already wearing. I like to have an option of another outfit so that they're not too hot or too cold. It's perfect for blowouts if they spill something, but then also if they're just not the right temperature. And I always make sure to have the smallest, most compact possible changing pad with me, because airplane bathrooms are gross and cramped and very, very small. And sometimes there's not even a changing table. Honestly, on airplanes, we've encountered that many times. So if I'm going to change them on my lap and there's poo everywhere, I want to make sure that it's not getting on my clothes, because that would be a mess. And I make sure we have one in each diaper bag. We like to sanitize everything when we get on the plane because our kids put everything in their mouths still. So always make sure that we have some kind of sanitizing wipe and little wet wipes for our hands, just in case things get sticky. When it comes to activities to keep kids busy on the airplane, we don't really do much screen time with our kids. We didn't at all until they were over a year old. We did all of these flights for the most part with no screens. So we like to always have something new that they've never seen before for the plane, whether that be a book or a new small toy. We've recently found that there are companies, like this one is from Mini Jet Setter, that make age-appropriate toy packs for kids, specifically for flying. We've used this for a lot of trips, so this isn't what originally came in all of it, but here is some of the stuff that we will be bringing. Kids don't need crazy fancy toys. They are very happy with feathers and washi tape, so many stickers. Things that you might not think are a toy, like calculators and measuring tapes. We have some little books, some coloring supplies, different fidget toys. And I don't know the name of this company, but they just sent over this travel pack specifically for this trip. And it has so many great activities in it, all in individual little baggies. So there are things like, this is a threading activity of wooden animal beads, pom-poms and Q-tips that they can insert through these little holes, which I know is just gonna keep them busy forever. Kids are easily entertained by very simplistic things, so don't overthink it when you're thinking about what you should bring on the plane. This is a small little big Lego set to make a car. We have a little wooden block set and another threading activity. And sticker books are always a huge hit. We like to make sure that we have a lot of options, but when you're bringing really small things like this, it's perfect because it's a complete activity that will take them a while to complete and it'll keep them entertained for quite a while, but it's so small and compact that you're able to bring a bunch of stuff. So there's a lot of options. Our documents and our camera equipment are also going to go in here. And what is most likely the most important thing when it comes to traveling with kids, food. Lots of snacks. So once we're in the airport, we always make sure that we let the twins run around as much as possible.
Yes, basically, well, as soon as they could crawl, we started doing that.
We laid down blankets at first because I know the airport floor is dirty, but they wouldn't stay on the blankets. So now we just kind of go to an area where there's no one around and just let them run and like get all of their energy out.
Yeah, we don't necessarily go to near our gate. We just find our gate because we
Why
have to
does
make
everyone
sure it
do that?
exists. Of course it exists. We go make sure the departure time
We
is
literally
exactly
just
what we
walk.
thought. And then we go somewhere else where there's nobody. And I'm sure a lot of people are looking at us judging, being like, those kids are touching the airport floor, licking the airport seats.
Yeah.
It is what it is, you know? It is what it is. You pick your battles. And that isn't one that we pick.
If you've ever been at an airport and listened to the announcements, after the fancy first class people board, they say parents with children under the age of 5, typically small children, some say, and people that need more time, board now. We don't do that.
We literally board last. We wait for the whole lineup to go, and then as soon as there's like 2 or 3 people left in the lineup, we go and we board very last because we don't want the boys having to be stuck on an airplane. We don't want to be stuck on an airplane longer than we need to be.
Yeah.
It just makes it so much better. However, this time we will be flying with car seats. So it will be different. One of us is going to have to go on and install the car seats first.
It'll probably be me because I know how to install car seats.
Yeah.
In general, we always board last. I'm going to tell you guys a fun fact about flying with multiple children, specifically lap infants, that we didn't know until we started traveling with them. So this might be a shock to some of you that are thinking about traveling with twins as lap infants. You can't sit together.
No, this is different for all different airlines. Where we are, you can't sit in the same row. And depending on the airline, like WestJet, you can't even sit in the same row like this if you have 2 lap infants because there's only 1 extra oxygen mask.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that. So we've never been able to sit in the same row.
No. We've never been able to sit together. So what we do is we sit across the aisle from each other. We get aisle seats across from each other so that we can share baby supplies. We can swap babies. We're close by to each other if the other person needs help. It's what works best for us. But we didn't know that we couldn't sit together until we started flying. Another question that came up a lot, airplane ears, meaning the pressure when you're taking off or landing. A lot of people want to know what we do for that and if it's ever really affected our kids.
Yeah, so we don't do anything. When the first flight, we were so nervous about it because that's what everyone says. Oh, make sure you feed them, make sure they have a soother, breastfeed during takeoff and landing. The boys said, no, we don't want to. And they've never on any flight ever had an issue with takeoff and landing. And also, how are you supposed to? Because they're like, you must hold your infant in birthing position, but also feed them.
Yeah, and you
can't do both. That doesn't work. Sorry, do you have kids? No. Like, it doesn't, logistically, you can't do that.
You're right.
I think people make a really big deal out of it, and it does affect a lot of people. I know that, even adults. And
it doesn't affect me personally.
It doesn't affect me either. It just maybe different people. So maybe your child would be really bothered by it. And the tips that they recommend are feeding them a bottle or like a soother.
Yeah,
during
something to suck. And one more flying related question before we get into just travel stuff. Do we plan flight times around sleeping and naps?
No, we pick the cheapest.
She's lying a little bit. She will not get to the airport before a certain time.
Oh,
and she will not do flights after a certain time. You only will fly in the day.
Well, that's just me. I wouldn't, that's just me, even if I was flying alone. However, unfortunately, a lot of the flights, for instance, like where we're going to California, they all leave in the morning, the good flights, the shortest duration. So we unfortunately do have to. And then when we went to Florida, we had to be there. We had to get up at 3:40. That was good.
Really early.
This time I think it'll be a
Oh,
little
the
bit
twins
later.
were champs.
They did fine. It's
did
only
fine.
me. Everyone else is fine. It's me who's the wimp.
Let's be real, actually. We do pick it around sleep, but we pick it around your sleep.
Yeah. That's just how I've always flown. I don't fly too early, and I don't like flying in the night. I don't want to land too late because if there's a problem, then you are in the night and you're stuck in the airport.
And she'd never do a red-eye flight. An overnight flight, no. She needs perfect sleeping conditions.
It works out that the cheapest ones often are around my preferred times, but we don't plan it around the babies. Like, they just adapt. And then they're not, like, you can't count on them napping. If you, I mean, maybe you can. Maybe they can.
But
our kids, you can't. They don't nap on the go. I'd rather them actually fly during not a nap because then they're not missing their nap.
Yeah, because our kids are so bad at napping on the go.
They just don't nap on the go.
No.
I don't know how you see those kids just like sleeping. Like a toddler, you're holding a toddler sleeping? How?
Just the parents are walking around there in their stroller fast asleep.
What?
I wish.
Our boys are like, we need the crib.
We need our pristine sleep conditions. Wonder where they got that.
It's funny.
People asked a lot of questions about transportation once you land somewhere. Rental cars, car seats, that kind of stuff. So we had an absolute hellish time when we first traveled with the boys renting a car.
Yeah, we will never rent from a car rental company again, and we should have known that. We should, like, I don't know why we didn't think to use Turo. We've always used Turo. It's like Airbnb for cars, and it's a lot cheaper and so much more convenient because you can get them delivered. This is not an ad, by the way, but
no,
I would
just
like
what
to
we personally use.
We've used it like 20 times probably.
Oh yeah.
And it's amazing. We didn't do it once and we paid for it and we lost like $1,500. It was so bad. And we ended up getting a Turo van delivered to us.
We did. So what happened was our flight landed and it landed
in the night.
Pretty late in the night, like 11 p.m. I think it landed. Yeah. It was fine. We get to the rental car counter. We pre-bought our car. We were just picking it up. The line must have been 50 people.
Oh, I would say 100. And there was one person.
One desk open.
And there was no other cars. So we went to every single one. They were all fully booked. Why?
By this time, it's like 1 a.m. Like, we were waiting in that line for hours, and it moved a couple people.
Yeah, like, literally, like, 4 people. So we would have been
and, like, everyone was freaking out. Like, this was, like, a mass, like, oh, my God, what is happening?
And, like, it was so late. The boys, like, we ran out of formula. Like, it was so bad. Luckily, my parents came to our rescue. That was very good.
Thank God they were there.
Thank God they were there. We
used Turo.
Turo every time since.
Which is like Airbnb for cars. Like, it's someone's
amazing.
car that you rent.
Yeah, you literally just browse any cars. So we always get like a big van. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing. So we're using that again when we go to California. And that we just are getting it delivered to the hotel. Mm-hmm. And then getting it picked up from the airport.
Yeah, a lot of times what we've done is they just have the car dropped off in the parking area waiting for us with like a little lockbox on it.
Yeah.
The car's just there when we get there and we're good to go.
Yeah, so it's just like you've parked at the airport. You just go and pick up the car. You don't have to talk to anybody and it's amazing. So who wants to go talk to somebody after a flight? Right. It's literally the worst. I hate it.
And a lot of people wanted to know if like it's something you can trust. And I will say, our last trip, we had a car issue. We were driving and the car just started stalling.
It was scary. And they were amazing. Like, obviously it depends on every host is different because they're people, but I always book people who are like super hosts and have great reviews, and this guy was amazing. He brought a new van to us and took the old one. Like, it was so easy.
Yeah.
And
Turo themselves are also really helpful.
Yeah. So that's what we always use. It's really good. You can even book extras, so like prepaid fuel and car seats. So we've rented car seats twice. And it's been awesome. This time we're not because we're not getting the car till a couple days into the trip.
And another thing that's changed is, so we used to fly with our own car seats, like the bucket seats that the babies would go in. We'd bring those because it was easy.
And they're light.
But now they're too big for those. And we didn't have a car seat that we could travel with. Our car seats are those huge rotating ones. We can't travel with those. We did just get travel car seats.
Yeah, so we got folding, well, they're actually not travel car seats. They're just
Right,
normal car
they're
seats.
car seats, but
They
they're good for
happen to
travel.
fold and they happen to be airline compliant.
They're super thin. It's great.
Yeah, so they're so thin that you can fit 3 across in a car, and they're Diono is the brand.
Yeah,
They
insert
actually
it
might
right
have
here.
given us a code.
If I have a code already,
We might have a code, but so far they look really good. So
yeah, we haven't used them yet. This is gonna be
Yeah.
our first trip with them, so fingers crossed it's okay. It is definitely sketchy renting car seats, and it does stress me out.
yeah, because you don't know
personally.
what you're gonna get,
Mhm.
and they're like flimsy. So
And another thing that scares me is you need to install the car seat yourself because of legality issues and
Yeah, they're
insurance
not
issues.
allowed.
They just will have the car seat there and you have to install it. And I get worried that I'm gonna do something wrong because like I don't know how to install every single car seat on the market.
exactly.
You know? So it's
Yeah.
nice for convenience sake to have your own car seat. Let's talk where we like to stay. Hotel versus rental.
I hate staying in a hotel unless it is big with the boys.
Why? What's the reason?
Because it is a lot to fit us and all their stuff in one room.
And sleep. You have to kind of go to sleep when they go to sleep or be very quiet once they go to sleep. Like not super quiet, but still you have sleeping children in the same room as you.
Yeah, we did it once successfully in New York City. We stayed at the Best Western in Soho, and the room was humongous for New York City. And that one actually worked well because we got slumber pods, so we could kind of be like have the lights on when they were sleeping.
Slumber pods are these. I'll insert a photo right here. They are great for travel. We've rented them a couple times.
We would avoid staying at a hotel in all in all costs because
Yeah, we would always pick a rental.
if they can have a room, it's just so much better for everybody, and like a little kitchen because then you don't have to eat out all the time. You can make them food.
Yes.
So we always prefer to stay at an Airbnb or a rental place, like a house.
Another thing that we really like about staying at a house, if you're staying somewhere warm, is if it has a pool, then during nap times, because our kids nap for about 2 hours a day,
Yeah.
you get to enjoy the pool and still like do stuff during nap time. When we stay at a hotel and they're napping in the hotel, because like we said, they don't nap while on the go. They nap at the hotel. We go back and they sleep. Someone is stuck at the hotel with them. And you're losing like 2 hours of your nice day.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
I completely forgot about this, and it is our biggest and best travel
And
hack.
we do have a code. We do have a code for this, and I would highly recommend using it. So we have been renting baby gear for our last several trips. When we get to the destination, there is a thing called Baby Quip, which we didn't know about until after our first trip. You can rent literally any type of baby gear you can imagine. This time, for instance, we are renting playpens, slumber pods. I think I got blackout curtains because depending on the hotel, like we might not want to use the slumber pods. Toys, that's been amazing because we're not going to cart around like toys, so you can get toy packages based on age. This time I got a snack package, diapers and wipes.
Yeah.
We usually rent a double stroller, but then this time we got the one that you saw. I would highly recommend that.
Oh.
You can rent car seats, you can rent sound machines,
Baby
carriers.
Brezza. When the twins
Yes.
were having formula still, we would rent a baby Brezza and it was amazing. Wait, I do want to say our first trip we flew with our baby Brezza.
Yeah, we did. Why? We could have just made it. This is a good example of how we have become a lot more efficient since our first trip. But Baby Quip is amazing. I do have a code for them because
I'll write it here.
they were nice enough to give us a code.
Baby Quip is the reason that we're able to travel so light gear-wise, and it's amazing. We've never had a bad experience with it. They drop it off at where you're staying. They pick it up from where you're staying. Okay, let's talk sleep. Our kids don't sleep well on the go. We said that.
No.
We need to go back to the hotel for nap times, almost always.
Because they will fall asleep in the carrier if they're really tired. It's not ideal because it's a short nap.
Someone wanted to know, do the twins sleep through the night on vacation?
I mean, we've only gone on one trip since they were on one nap and sleeping through the night, because that was only recent that they actually started sleeping through the night.
We went to like a local staycation recently with friends.
God.
Sometimes it really does mess with the twins' sleep. I had to
Oh,
sleep
God.
with
That
Moose in
was-
his room one night in Florida.
Oh yeah, and then this time we went, it was
We
so
went on
bad.
a staycation and
It was so bad. We probably slept 40 minutes. He was in the bed all night. We don't co-sleep. Oh, it was so bad.
It took me like 3 hours to get him down to go to sleep.
It's just that they don't do well like the first and second night of trips. It's
Yeah.
just how it goes until they're accustomed. I would be scared
they
too.
just need
They
to get
just
used
are
to it.
scared. Where am I?
But yeah,
It is
honestly,
what it is.
It is what it is. It does take them some time usually to get used to sleeping in a new place. And we just know that.
Yeah,
We
it's
know
mostly
that-
getting to sleep. They did sleep great in Florida after like the second night
Yeah.
though. Like they really did.
It just takes some adjusting. It takes some adjusting. If it's a longer trip, it's not so bad because I get used to it. If it's only like a short day or 2-day trip, because we're talking ultimate travel video, like everything travel, I will say I love having bags for everything. So this bag I got on Amazon. We've used it for both of the twins' car seats actually, like these ones that we're donating. I was able to fit them both in this bag. It is huge. I think I can link it. It's just an Amazon storage bag. It's a drawstring top. It's a backpack or a duffel. I'm gonna bring this to put the stroller in so that once we gate check that nice new stroller, it's not gonna get absolutely filthy and disgusting on the inside of the plane. When it comes to the car seats that we're traveling with, we did opt to get travel backpacks for them. And then you can use it as either a duffel or a backpack. You could check your car seats in this if you weren't bringing them on the plane. It's just so much easier to not lug just a loose car seat around, you know? So this is not traveling with kids specific. This is just traveling in general. Packing cubes are your best friend when it comes to packing. Use them, please. This might be the most important bag that we travel with. This is our sleep stuff. I call it our sleep bag. We keep everything in here and super handy that the twins would need to go to sleep at the hotel. We make sure that this is at the very top of the luggage so that if the twins need a nap as soon as we get somewhere, it's ready to go. We make sure that we have pajamas. Since we often rent playpens where we're going, it's nice to have our own crib sheets that we know are clean. Before we went on our very first trip, we opted to get a very cheap monitor set that isn't connected to the internet. It has like a handheld baby monitor. So if someone else is watching them if we're at one of our parents' houses or on this trip with my mom, they don't need to have a special app on their phone. Also, I was scared about people hacking an app on a like public Wi-Fi. It's very a weird specific thing to have a fear of, but I don't know. I'm not a tech genius. This is just my personal feelings. This one is extra special and wonderful because both of these cameras attach to one monitor and then there's just a little button that you click to switch between them. It was cheap. It was great. It's VTech. I love it. It works really good for us. So this is a must. Not in here yet, but we make sure that we have their sleep sacks. And something that we also bring is garbage bags and masking tape or painter's tape, something that's not going to ruin the paint on the walls. And then if the room is too bright, because our twins need darkness to sleep, we just tape up garbage bags over the windows because they're pretty black out and it really, really helps make the room darker. And it's like an easy quick fix, especially if we're staying somewhere where, oh my goodness, there's a skylight in the bedroom and we didn't know and it's like beaming down on them. That's happened. We can just stand on a chair and tape up a plastic bag over it and take it down when we're leaving. So that's just a weird tip that I have for you. Rapid fire answering your guys' other travel related questions. Okay. Is it relaxing traveling with kids?
No.
No, but it's very fun and it's very worth it.
It's
and
very
I love
fun,
it.
but
it's not relaxing.
It's minus.
Bucket list, where would we like to take the kids?
Greece, Paris.
I want to do Australia because we lived there and I loved it so much, but it is a very far way to travel.
I don't think I'd do that till they're like 10.
And it's like a 14-hour time difference.
Yeah, there's no way.
What is something that you thought would be difficult but isn't? Them not getting as much sleep as they normally do, especially on travel days. I thought they would be little hellions, but they're actually so adaptable and they do so good.
That's very true. They're more adaptable than we thought.
Yes, that's it. What is the best part about traveling with kids?
The best part? Oh, it's so fun. It's just like nice for them to see things for the first time and for them to have fun. It's more lively.
They're such good little buddies. Like I just love spending time with them. They're so sweet and they're
really
just like my favorite people. And it's so cool like seeing them experience things.
It really is.
What's the worst part about traveling with kids?
You're traveling with kids.
It's not relaxing.
I have always been the type of person who's like, ooh, don't sit near the kids. Don't go to the pool with the kids. And that's just how I am. So it's not relaxing. It's a different type of trip and it's so worth it. It's so fun. It's really draining.
What's the best place we've ever taken them?
New York City is my favorite.
It was fun. There was a lot to do, lots of walking and like staying busy and stuff. So it was good.
Yeah, I'd go back there.
And that's where we're going to leave today's video. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you on our trip soon.
Yes, the next video is our trip.
We'll see how it goes.